Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new, my name is Kylie. If you guys are not new, thank you for coming back. In today's video, I decided that I'm going to share some things with you guys and talk a little bit about 2019 and just like a little bit of a look back. And the title of this video is most likely going to be why 2019 was the worst year of my life. If you guys are interested in listening to me, then keep on watching.
Send me your location, let's focus on communication, 'cause I just need the time and place to come close.
The beginning of this timeline is going to start actually in August of 2018. The reason that I decided to put this in the video as well is because of the fact that this is where things take place that lead to the automatic assumption that, hey, 2019 is gonna be a bad year, prepare yourself. So I was kind of like deep down aware that 2019 would be like a rough year, but I wasn't aware of what was gonna come with 2019, like all the events that were gonna happen. So everything that happened was very, very unexpected and crazy, very tragic. As I said, in August of 2018, there was an incident that happened between me and my dad. I had been living with my dad for 3 years in Alabama, and something happened, not gonna say what, but basically I had no choice but to move back to Florida and live with my mom. What happened was kind of something that caused me to need therapy to kind of help control my emotions and to, I want to say, help me out, because I have like a hard time expressing how I feel without anger. I hold a lot of things in, and then whenever they come out, it's a mess. And so I was having a hard time coping, and I really needed help. But honestly, therapy didn't work for me at the time, because in my mind I'm thinking, she's not even helping me, she's not even talking to me, she's talking to my mom, because my mom was always in the room with us and I never really got a chance to be alone. So I just stopped going to my appointments after a few months. The reasons why I was having a hard time and why it was so bad for me was because there was so much stress on my shoulders, and it was more stress than I've ever had in my entire life. I just made an automatic transition to a lifestyle that I haven't lived at all for a while. So it was really difficult and it was hard. Now, up until this point, I had no contact with my dad whatsoever. It wasn't like illegal for us to communicate, like we could communicate. Like, I don't think we would have gotten in trouble if anyone knew we were communicating, but we weren't allowed to see each other. So I reached out to my dad eventually after 3 months, and in the beginning of November I texted him and I didn't get a message back until the beginning of December. After that, me and him were, we were chatting, we were catching up, not really talking about the situation itself that had happened, but just about our lives themselves. And it was not every single day, but it was every few days or whatever. But like, he definitely wished me like a happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And then we got into January, and on January 6th of 2019 to be exact, he had messaged me, and for some reason the message didn't sit well with me, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna block him, and I haven't talked to him since. But I wasn't really expecting anything bad to happen. Like, terrible. So that's January, and we get into February of 2019. On February 16th, I went to the county fair. I met somebody unintentionally, didn't even know he was there, and we kind of talked, we communicated a lot that night. We had a lot of personal things being told to each other. We kind of just clicked. Me and him talked all the way up for like a whole week, and it was every day, all day long, and then at night we were calling each other. And then on Friday, February 22nd, 2019, me and my cousin went to a party with him. It wasn't the actual party, we were there for like the first like setting up. Then we left around like 11. There was like a little incident where I was told that he was talking to his ex still, and he was in a whole relationship with her, and I was like, why would you even talk to me if you were dating somebody already? And he was like, oh no, it's not even that, blah blah blah. He stayed on the phone until 4 in the morning, and I hung up because I wanted to go to bed. I was up 4 in the morning on February 23rd, the next morning. At 5 in the morning, an hour later, I was being awoken to me being told that my dad was dead. And it was honestly like a very hard moment for me, I want to say. The way it happened was my cousin had jumped out of the bed as her mom was screaming, and it was like heartbreaking screams, and I was freaking out because I had been woken out of my dead sleep to that, and my anxiety was super high, and I was like, what the hell is going on? So Bella's going to go to her mom, and all I hear is Kiley awake? And I'm like, yeah. And I don't think she heard me, but Bella goes, no, she's not awake. And all of a sudden I saw my aunt running to the kitchen, so I got out of bed and I ran after her. I saw my uncle and his wife running up towards the front door, and running in the door, they were all in tears, grabbing each other. So I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So my anxiety, again, is so high. Like, it's high right now just talking about it, but it was so high. I was shaking as I was standing. I asked my aunt, I was like, what's going on? Can somebody please tell me why everyone's crying? She comes up and she hugs me, just grabs me so that if I fell, I didn't fall. Your dad is dead. That was her words. And they kind of went in through one ear and out the other, and I just kind of lost my balance, and all my body weight went towards the floor. I kind of just slowly walked to my room. I was telling myself that it was my fault that he was dead, and I didn't know how he died. I was just told that he was dead. So I'm telling myself he killed himself because of me. Tuesday before that happened, so a few days before, I had to file a restraining order because of therapy needs and because my mom suggested it. So I thought he got served the papers, and I thought that he killed himself because of me. All that I remember was I was like shaking back and forth, but I wasn't aware of my surroundings. And at one point I was told that my uncle had came into the room and was hugging me, and I don't even remember him touching me. I don't remember anything. I just remember shaking back and forth saying he killed himself because of me. And it's not my fault. He's gone. And then all I remember after that was I kind of like blacked out, and I just remember waking up at my uncle's house on the couch, and my head was like hurting. Like, it was so bad, and I thought it was a dream. And then I asked my uncle's wife, and I was like, please tell me it's a dream. And she's like, but I wish it was. So I was in tears again. The reason he passed away was because he had been speeding, he was intoxicated, he was driving and speeding very fast, and he kind of swerved off the road and in return hit a pole, and his truck flipped and he landed upside down. He died force of impact, so he did not suffer. To be honest, for the longest time I did not believe anything. So when I went up to Alabama myself in December, I was able to see the scene and see where it happened and visually try to envision what happened. And you could still see like markings on the pole that he hit, and you could see truck pieces still from where he landed and wrecked. So I also got to see his cross, because that's the only thing that's up there, because he was cremated, so he does not have a grave. In March of 2019, we had two things that were kind of difficult for me. March 9th, we had my dad's memorial, and it wasn't like a funeral, so it wasn't supposed to be sad and sobbing worth. It was more of a celebration of life. Because of the fact that he was cremated, his urn was just brought down to Florida, and we went to a public park where we, as a family, would always go like for birthday parties and stuff and get-togethers. So we went there. There was food, there was desserts like cupcakes, cookies, there were snacks, drinks, beer for the adults, and then there was table set up in the front by the benches that had canvases set up with a bunch of pictures ranging from when he was little to when he was like 40, which is how old he was when he died. The one thing that did make me really sad was that there were a lot of pictures that had his kids in it, so me and my two brothers. Then there were a lot with just me and him, because I'm, out of all three of his kids, I'm the only one who got to actually fully live with him. My younger brother that I share with him, he was living with him actually when he died, and he had only been there for a week though. It makes me emotional because I was the only one. After my dad, my grandfather died. Now up until the summertime after March, things were like just a little bit stressful. In June, the guy I had been talking to ended up moving out of state, and I was a little bit dumb and agreed to do a long distance relationship. Didn't 100% last. Obviously we're not together today. I actually did end up getting a job, but my job was very, very stressful, and I don't regret working there because it was an easy first job for me, but I do regret the things that I had to do because it was hard on me. I was like, this is my first job, this is not what I expected for my first job. Then I ended up getting a puppy. I still have her now. Her name is Cora. She's something else. But in July of 2019, I got fired from my job. And the way I got fired was he was paying me only $7 an hour to do my job, my position. And he fired me for somebody a few years older just to pay her more when he was complaining about what he was paying me. So how are you gonna pay somebody else more when you didn't even want to pay me the amount that you were? That makes no sense. On July 2nd, my papa died. In August of 2019, I started school. I wanted to drop out at one point, and then I didn't, so I moved to my aunt's house, which is where I'm at now. Ever since, I've been doing good. I'm still in school, and I'm actually committed. And I made a lot of friends, but there was a lot of drama that made all of that go downhill. And that's a whole nother story time. But let's just say that 4 months is a long time to be suffering with hell. Like I said, I moved in September of 2019. October of 2019 is when I ended things with the guy that I was with. It was kind of hard, but I felt some type of refreshment off of it. And I also celebrated my dad's 41st birthday with my family. We let balloons go, and we just kind of celebrated the spirit. In November of 2019, we were preparing for the 1-year anniversaries of our friend Josh and our other friend Josh. November 15th was the first one, November 21st was the second one. So when they passed the year prior, they died 6 days apart. But on November 13th, a friend, he had been living out of state, and not even 24 hours before he passed away, I was being told that he had been recovering, so it was kind of very heartbreaking when I found out. But he basically had got shot in the face, in the jaw, and it went through his head, and he was in a coma, and he didn't recover. He ended up passing. So that happened on November 13th. And then in December of 2019 was when I made my trip to Alabama. That's when I finally, 10 months later, grieved my dad's passing. And then I had my 17th birthday and Christmas and New Year, and ever since then I've just been kind of like a little bit eased. Honestly, I feel better. I'm enjoying my life right now. There are a few things that need to be handled and get rid of because it's still stuff from 2019 that needs to be gotten and thrown away. So other than that, my life is going great. That's gonna be the end of this video. If you stayed and watched this video, I want to thank you, because a lot of these things that I shared were things that were personal and kind of things that I just think, if you thought last year was like bad for you and you thought you were alone, you're not alone, because 2019 was terrible. And if anybody was to ask me, do you want to go back to 2019? I would say, hell no. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on my social media, and I'll see you guys in another video.